Thank you for joining us today for this webinar session, and we will be talking about what's new in ArcGIS Online. So I'll be your presenter today. I'm Barbara Seja, and again, as I said, our topic of discussion or our topic that we're going to go through today is the new features that are available in ArcGIS Online. Something you should note is that this webinar is being recorded, so it will be available to you via our social media sites. There's YouTube, and then there's other social sites that you will be able to access this video. And then if you have any question, please feel free to use the chat section. You can type your question, and then one of our staff members will be able to respond to your questions. So once again, thank you for joining us, and then I think we can begin for today's session. So we are going to look at really what's been featured. Now, ArcGIS Online is updated regularly, and the latest release adds very many useful new features and enhancements. So from year to year, we do listen to you as the user, and then we try and adopt these recommendations that you are stating as a user, so that we can be able to make the platform better for you as a user and the community to be able to help or assist you in your day-to-day work and activities. So we are going to start first by looking at ArcGIS Online, and then we will also delve down into some core and some of the featured products of the ArcGIS Online. The first one is the homepage. Now, the homepage is the landing page of your organization's website, and usually this serves as the primary gateway for your user community. So it's basically the visible face of your organization, and it's usually the context for you finding and using the maps. You have the applications and other resources. So like any other website, this is the primary destination that provides some helpful resources and content for your organization members, and also for the public visitors. If you've actually placed some of your items publicly, your visitors can be able to look at, search, or view this information. So now what's new about this homepage? So with the release, now the administrators, organization administrators, and those with the appropriate privileges can design and build a modern and then a responsive landing page for their online website. So this one will be based using a new component-based homepage editor. So let us look at what I've been talking about. So let me just switch. So this is our site. This is the Eastern Africa ArcGIS Online landing page. Let me say the homepage. Now, as I said, we have the new homepage editor. So going through it, this is actually through my organization tab, and then settings. So initially, before to recreate or create your homepage and feature applications and maps and all that, you had to go to the settings, and then step by step had to configure each of every element that you're working on. Now with the new based homepage editor, let's see how it works. So this is the dialog that tells me how I can proceed. And then all I have to do is just say launch the editor. Here we go. And then from here, I can be able now to work and work and see exactly what will happen to my editor. So we have the header settings. So this one is represented by organization title. We've got the color. If you want to change this color from white, you can even add an organization logo. All that other extras, the layout options, what do you really want to see, alignment, and all that. Now, the good thing about this is that whatever change you make on the left, it actually appears on your right. So side by side, it goes side by side. Any change you make, you can be able to see how it actually appears on the home page. Before, you had to have like a new window, and then any changes you make, you go and refresh the home page to actually see if the changes you've done have been applied. So this has made it very easy for one or an administrator to be able to create their homepage for the organization. So you can still see this view in a desktop view. There is also a tablet view represented, and there's also a mobile view. So when you are actually done, there is also body you can change, and there is also a footer you can add. These are other settings you can add. When you're finished with everything, all you have to do is say save, and then these changes are applied automatically. So this is a new way of doing or working with your homepage editor. Now, the second feature that we are looking at is the ArcGIS notebooks. So the notebooks is no longer in beta, and now it's fully available in the ArcGIS Online. Now, what does notebook provide? It's what provides a Jupyter experience, notebook experience within ArcGIS Online. So you'll be able to create, share, run administrative. There's also data management and also spatial data science workflows. You might be asking what these notebooks are if you're a layman or you, for instance, you don't understand. So let me just summarize what notebooks are. So this provides an adaptable web-based interface for your geospatial data analysis. So you'll be able to perform analysis, automate your workflows, and you can immediately visualize data and also analysis results in a geographical context. What you should know is that the notebooks provide an efficient and I would say a modern environment that combines a code and on-the-fly visualizations and maps and data tools all in the notebook editor. And in the notebook editor, again, you can write, document, and run your Python code all in one place. So let me summarize what you can really do with the notebooks. One, there is use of advanced analytics. This is to get statistically significant results. And this is usually achievable, again, within the environment, use of spatial algorithms and usage of open source Python libraries. You'll also be able to prep your data using spatial and open source libraries, also to isolate an area of interest or identify specific anomalies. Another feature is you are able to train and perform inference on models. So using built-in tools with machine learning and also deep learning frameworks. And finally, there is the use of inbuilt ArcGIS Python libraries where you can automate repetitive administrative tasks. So let's look at this notebook in a nutshell, and then we see. So the first thing, or how do you go about accessing your notebook? So let me go back to my tab here. So here we have the home, the gallery, the map, scene, notebook. So we can see it as a tab on its own. So when clicking on your tab, the first thing it tells you to is this welcome window. You are able to select a specific a runtime to be used. And then when you're done, all you have to do is just say okay, and then it loads for you the notebook scene. Now I want us to go through this. Now the new features I said, what is really new is that it's no longer in beta. So I'll just here I've selected, I say open, and then we can begin. It's no longer in beta, so it's fully available or fully functional within the environment. Now here we can see an example. I haven't saved anything, but we are just going to brush through the interface itself. So the file, the editing, view, inserting cells and all that. And then also the good thing about the notebooks or what we have provided extra is samples. If you really want to know how to work with notebooks and you don't know how to begin, there are samples that are provided. So you just choose a specific one that you like to do and then go about it. So we have categories. We have one for administration. Now this is administration within your ArcGIS Online. For instance, deploy automatic notifications, or you want to manage and allocate credits, or validate user profiles. We also have things to do with content management. If you're searching for broken URLs and you want to get a list of all that, or all the items, identify insecure items within your account. We have samples, or it shows you a step-by-step way on how you can achieve this. And also the good thing, we have analysis bit, because I said this is more of advanced analysis, and then it also automates repetitive administrative tasks. So you can choose whichever that you find that you are going to work with or that interests you, and then you can begin working on it. We have routing and all that. So let me just click on an example and then we see what it's all about. So here there is routing, find the nearest hospital. So let's see how it actually behaves when you work with the samples. So the first thing I know is going to, yeah, here we are. Ask me either to open the notebook, download it, or share it. So I'm going to opt to open it right now. When I open, what it's supposed to give me is a step-by-step view of how I'm going to achieve this specific analysis. Now, the good thing we have also done is provided some URLs to data. If you're missing data, as I said, if you need to practice and then bring these or apply this within your organization, this is an easier, quick way to do it. So you learn about it and then now apply it within your organization. So the links are provided where you can, some of the links are provided where you can access data, and then all you have to do is just follow step by step and learn that method. It's taking quite a while to load this information, but it's basically what I've just said, telling you or giving you a step by step process of how you can do your analysis. And this, for instance, what I picked was finding the nearest hospital. And then links are also, some of the links are provided for your data where you can be able to access. Unfortunately, this is taking long to actually load. I think we will get back to this. I'll actually show this maybe towards the end. So hopefully it will have loaded, and think we can just proceed. So now we are going to the next feature, which is talking about configurable applications. Now, configurable applications, as we all know, or if you don't know, these are template applications that you can configure easily without requiring any coding. Now, they assist you to publish your apps very quickly, and this is usually to support, for instance, a variety of users or a specific workflow. So if you've really worked with configurable apps before, you know that this is the fastest, I would say the fastest and easiest way to go from a map to a shareable app. Now, a new configuration experience is available. We continue bringing more applications. Again, as I say, we listen to you as the user, what you actually find will be useful within the platform, and we find ways to actually add these capabilities and these applications within the platform. So the new configuration experience is available for some of the configurable apps, and this includes, we have nearby, we have minimalists, we've got the zone lookup, and we've got the attachment viewer. So what is really new, or what is actually quite different from what has been there before? So this one includes an express setup that now presents a streamlined way where you can go from your map to an app in just a few clicks. You'll also be provided with a full setup option if you prefer to actually go that way, but what we've done is an express way. So let's look at that. Okay, just to mention, take you back a bit, here it is, the notebook's actually finally loaded. So just browsing very quickly, a few seconds, here we can see, I told you it's a step-by-step telling you how to go about it. Here we are, giving you examples, how it should appear and all that. So everything has been provided for you. It's all a matter of starting and then practicing and using it. And finally, if you need to apply it again within your organization. So now, sorry about that, taking you to the configurable apps. Let me close this, sorry. So going to my contents page, and then from here I can able to now go to create and say configurable apps. So it's going to load for me the apps. Now what is really different, or how are you going to spot a new configurable app? They actually lack let me see, revised sort of thumbnail, and what is only provided is written new, as we can see here. So one example is the attachment view. I said they're actually for nearby, minimalist, zone lookup, and attachment viewer. So let's see how it actually works, this express setup. So clicking on attachment viewer, from the term itself, attachment viewer, so providing a simple experience where you're able to review your locations, feature information, and more so media attachments. And then here I say create the web app. Then I can just put something very quick. So here I'll just say a demo. And then the tags as well for demonstration purpose. I'll leave the summary out for right now and then save in the folder. I'm okay with that. I'll not assign a category and then I'll just say done. So here it's actually taking me now to the interface where we can do the express setup. It's a very, very simple interface where anybody can be able to pick and work with it. So the first thing it tells me a map. So there are steps, step 1, 2, 3, 4, as we can see, map about the theme and layout and interactivity. So clicking on map tells me select a map. So I can select any map at random. Let me take the animal observations, say select a map, just showing you how this actually works. So when I'm done selecting the map, it's loading on my right. I can go to next. So on my left here, I have the map, and then on my right, it's attachment. As I said, this is an attachment viewer. So I want to focus more on attachments. As it's loading, let's go to next. So here, the title, I can input the title. For instance, an introduction panel. I will leave everything at default. I can even add a legend. Just go to next. The theme, my app layout, which one am I focusing on? Attachments. I can change headers, and then finally there's interactivity where I can add even a geocoding source, but we already have ArcGIS provided, but if you think you need others, you can actually add it. Now, when you're done, all you have to do is say publish. You can also look at the views. We have views, desktop view. We have also the mobile view, how it will actually appear, both in landscape and portrait mode. So when done, publishing, when I click on publish, I go to the app. Now we launch the app. And then we can see it's just a very quick way of how you can now be able to work with that. It's very, as I said, express and simple from start to end. As long as you have your map ready, all your data ready, all it does is pick that information and then work with it. So on my left, we have the map. And then on my right, we have the attachments, and then I can be able now to scroll through this information. So I can interact with the map directly, or I can just choose to click on the next location tabs, and then all it will now do is highlight on the map, and then I can now be able to see or look at information pertaining to the attachments. That's as simple as that. Now, one again major update we have is regard to accounts and administration. Now, for administrators, they can now create detailed reports of the ArcGIS Online organization members and items. And these actually include reports. So reports can be exported for further review and analysis, and they're also saved within your ArcGIS Online or for the future reference. So you might be wondering, actually, why so new? Why think reports are so new? So before, this wasn't available. Now administrators have to use other various ways to create their reports, but we are trying to integrate simpler ways of how you can get a report from or whatever is actually happening within your ArcGIS Online for organizations account. And this again is in terms of the members and items. As time goes by, we'll continue adding more features and all that. So let's see what's available. So here I'm going to our account, then organization tab, and then I'm going to select status, and then from there I'm selecting reports. Now from here I'm able to create a report. So when I click create a report, I have option of creating 2 reports as of right now, an item based or member based. So when I've actually selecting, let me say an item report, I say create report. So here it's telling me your report is being created. So it will be added to this page. Now, when it's completed, you will get it in CSV format. There you go. So I have one here created of late. So you can now opt here. This is renaming, and then you can opt now to download this information and view it within your machine. So this is the latest, but going with what I had created before. Let's just go with that. I already have it. Oh, here we go. So there is items and then there's users. So let me start with the items. What is actually provided? So we have the username, the name, we have got the email, data regarding the profile visibility, logins. If you're using credit allocation, you can already see the credits. And then we have the number of items, groups belong to, and total groups. There is also the second, which is with regard to content. These are the 2 types you can export, as I said, with regard to users and the content. So you can be able now to track. Here we can see the number of items each individual owns, the number of groups each individual owns, and the number of groups each individual actually belongs to. So as I said, we'll keep on adding more functionalities. I know a lot how people have also asked in the past for item, maybe specific items. You can look at this. So these are in the coming, so don't worry. But as of right now, this again is a simple way of extracting and getting your data. Now there are other enhancements that are provided and are worth mentioning, And for starters, this is with regard to the map viewer. Now, using the map viewer, you are able to create and you display your imagery on the web. So our focus today is the images. As I said, we're looking at what's new. Now, as the author, you'll decide how imagery in the map is presented. Now, when you add an imagery to a map, the map initially uses the default display settings of the image service. However, you can change this appearance and ordering of the images. Now, what's so new about this release? We have added two new renderers for dynamically displaying your imagery. One, we have shaded relief and the color map. So all about rendering is depends on how your image service or how you really want to display this information. So again, it all boils down to the data type that you have. Now, looking at the shaded relief here, so the renderer generates a colorized representation of the terrain by applying a color ramp to a hill shaded elevation layer. And this is using traditional or multi-directional hill shade. So shaded relief. So this is more basing or factoring in the elevation layer. And then we also have a color map. So this one applies a predefined color map to a single band image, basically to display a colorized red, green, or blue image. And then you all can also be able to assign labels for each color to generate a new legend. So let's look at what I'm talking about. Sorry about that. So here we go. We have the map viewer, map image or the viewer. So I have my data here. I have a terrain tinted hillshade, and then we're going to talk about, see what about I was talking about. So the renderers, looking at more, I go to more information, and then I'm going to now configure basing on the renderers provided. The first thing, let me just tell you, add your data first, add any supporting data, and then when you're done, image display. And then from here, the renderer, the specifics. So I can choose basing on aspects, this grayscale, multi-directional. So let me take something very simple, a slope degree map. So telling me, or the end result should be something either very steep, I'm looking for steep areas, flat, gentle flat, and all that, and then I apply this information. So you can see it automatically does that for us. So when I'm done, I can be able to save and then export, create a map, share this information automatically. So that is one of the render. I'm not sure the color map, but those are the two worth mentioning about the map viewer. Something else we have presented is about 3D visualization. We have visualization improvements, and this is in terms or with regard to the 3D. So you well know that a beautiful scene helps you produce a more intuitive and exciting experience for your users. Not only your users, even for yourself. I mean, you want to view something realistically. And so we continue adding more improvements to this component. Now, what have we added is with regard to visualization in terms of water and shadows. Now, water displays reflections. Water can now display reflections of mountains, of buildings, and other 3D objects when you actually select what we call the quality mode in the scene viewer settings. So let's look at this, what I'm really talking about. So here I have a 3D view. This is so So this is meant out of DEM, as you can see. So something very simple. So now what I want us to do is play around with this and we see what I was talking about. So as I said, improvements with regard to water and visualization of water and shadows. So checking in my layer of river, it's supposed to actually load the layer, so give it some time. And then from there, now that's when we can be able to now work with it. Yeah, there we go. As I said, this one is produced from DM. Don't worry about the places that don't have data. And then now for me to be able to display, right now it's very blue, as we can see. Now I'm going to change the style layer for this, and then I'm going to use the water. Select this, and then I'm going to options. So for the type, I can select specific type, whether it's a lake or a river, an ocean, sea, or a pool. So right now I know I'm working with the lakes and rivers. It's taking time also to load, and then the color should change. We should be able also to see the waves. There we go. And then we can change any other if you need direction and all that, but I'm going to play it simple today. So we have the waves and all that. Now the main features, I said, we want to see reflections. To see reflections, I have to change my quality mode. There you go. So we can see there is the waves and the bit of reflections. But now let me try and show this clearly or visible. So I'm going to reduce the waves with something slow. So there we go. And then let's just view it from there. So I can be able now to see the reflections on the water, as we can see. So these are new ways we are working to make 3D more realistic for your data. Another feature we're going to be looking at is with regard to ArcGIS Online Security Advisor. So this provides a full rundown of your organization security settings at the click of a button. So it's eliminating the need to review settings one by one administratively. So we have this one site. At the click of a button, you can able to see your security, and again, the module now advises you of what is really critical or what should actually be looked at in terms of security. So going to the security advisor, the first thing it asks me, am I working using ArcGIS Online or Enterprise? So here when I select the online, I'm able to load. This is our site, and then from here now I can be able now to look at what has been set as critical and what I should look at. So we have here in terms of policies, sharing, searching, password policy, and you can see up here written critical. There are items that need your immediate attention. So these are some things I should look at. As we can see now, green is okay. We have red that says you should really look into that, and then the others which are moderate, that can also be looked at. Apart from that, we have the HTTP check. If you've worked with ArcGIS Online, you know by now you sometimes get a pop-up telling you should switch from HTTP to HTTPS. So this one actually what it does, it can scan for you the items and tell you the items that have a problem, and you can now look into that and change to a more secure way, which is the HTTPS. We have got others, member logs, looking at that information, organization, public, survey 1 to 3 checks. These are for your items, and then finally you have also publicly shared items. So the good thing about this, as I said, is a click of a button, and then you can view or spot anything that has been highlighted to be critical and then work on it. Another thing worth mentioning is with regard to imagery. Now the imagery metadata has been improved, and this is in terms of Basemap. So when you load the world imagery in your map and then you pan across the different geographic locations, zoom in and out, you will encounter different sources of imagery. Now, previously when you clicking a location in the map, the pop-up returned multiple records, including information about imagery that's actually above or below your current zoom level. So now what it actually does, it will only return the metadata for imagery currently visible at your geographic location interest. So here I have an imagery loaded in my map, and then we're going to work with this. So this is just a random area. Clicking on it, not giving me information right now. So what I'm going to do is wait a bit. Yeah, there we go. So it's giving me the imagery, telling me the imagery captured, when was it captured, the resolution, the accuracy of it. So I'm going to search a place I know we're well familiar of. So let me just write Nairobi very fast. And then I'm going to just zoom in a random area. And then give time for the imagery to load and then see what we are talking about. As I said, the new thing is that the pop-up will only return metadata for imagery currently visible at your geographic location. Whew, it's taking again some time. But here it's loading. So the view is that when you click an area, zoom into a specific level, and then now you'll be able to get information about it. So this one, let me leave it to get a bit clear. So I can choose to click that. It's now giving me information about it. So this is one way to go about it, or let me just uncheck this and then get the other imagery. Let me just use that as it continues loading. This is telling you now the date, the resolution, the source, well, view free, we can see it, and other information. So now we have enhanced this or made it way better for guys to be able to access the image. So the one I was trying to load was quite dense, which will load. This one was simpler. This one was high clarity, but you get the point that I'm actually putting across. Now, to finish this off, we have other applications. So this is with regard to story maps. Now, we have added something very interesting, and this is with regard to audio. So you can now add inline audio clips within your narrative and add some ambient sound to just set the mood for your readers with some background audio. You'll also be provided with an unmute button on the first slide, so you can choose to mute or unmute and then listen to it. So let's just look at it directly. So here I have one story map, Sounds of the Wild West, an audio tour of Montana's 4 major ecosystems. So scrolling, giving me some information, and then here Montana is defined as matched by soundtrack. Yes, so I'm supposed to get the unmute button here, so I unmute it, and then it's now supposed to give me the audio as we were talking about. So okay, scrolling again, sorry about this. This is bit of internet. So let's see. Let's see what the writer really wanted us to view. It's taking some time to pick, but there's supposed to be some audio at the background. I think I clicked right when I unmuted. Let me just go back. Oh, yeah, there we go. So gargling of gaysters, mudpots. These are wolf cries. So you can, as you go or proceed, you are able to get this sound. So we have added audio. You can also, apart from the background, you can input this as a clip, and then people now can listen to it. Something again, finally worth mentioning. Oh, there's one thing regarding the ArcGIS apps. The ArcGIS apps. We continue adding more applications, and one thing to note, we're adding the ArcGIS field maps. Right now, it's in beta. We set it out in beta, so people are also participating in it. Now, what is really different? Again, I'm saying ArcGIS field maps as an application. So it will combine the capabilities, the following capabilities into a specific single app. We have the simple map viewing and markup, high accuracy field data collection and inspection, battery optimized location tracking, work planning, and task management. So you might find that, yeah, this information is not new, or this capability is not new. That's true. This is because they are currently implemented across the separate field apps. And these field apps include the collector for ArcGIS, we have Explorer, we have Navigator, we have got Tracker, and we have got Workforce. So we are bringing all these capabilities into one app called the ArcGIS Field Maps. Now, why so? We saw that these working with multiple different apps across can pose several challenges to the worker. Now, the problem that come out is, for instance, downloading and signing into each app individually, downloading multiple copies of map data to work offline, switching between multiple apps, so on and so forth. So that's why all these combined, we decided that, hey, it's best that we bring it into one app. As I said, right now it's in beta. You may not get access to it, but if you're able to sign up for that, if it's not closed, then you can now tell us or give us your experience about using that application. And then finally, we have Learn ArcGIS. So this is a website containing timely and engaging guided lessons that are based on real world problems. So whether you're new to GIS or a seasoned analyst, you are able to learn ArcGIS using the specific resources that will help you build now your skills. So you can learn at your own pace based on your own needs and interests. So right now we have around 187 lessons, plus some other articles, story maps, videos, and learning paths. So let's look at this site, Learning ArcGIS. First thing is it asks you choose an experience. So whether you're a new user, you're a professional, data scientist, a professor, You can choose specific, and then also you can choose with regard to capability. Are you looking for mapping, field operations, analysis, all the way to 3D visualization? These are some of the abilities that you can try and discover. So let me take something at random and say field and click on explore. It will give you topics that you can be able to or explore with in terms of that field, the field operation. So a step by step. So whenever you're stuck, all you have to do is go to, it's actually loading the hub site. All this is through a hub site. Go through this site and then see what you can now be able to grasp and gain. So it's actually loading it. I think we'll just give it a moment for it to load. But otherwise, I think those are the major updates that I mentioned. There are some few that you can still work from here and there. They're available. And then if you have any questions, please feel free to reach us out. Again, I said Learning ArcGIS is a good site that we've actually put through for you as a user to get some knowledge about working with the platform. So here looking at some lessons, giving you a brief about what you learn in the lesson, how many minutes it's going to take, or the time provided. Here you have all the data. So you just have to have access to the platform and then learn from this. Now from that, I think I'm done. I'll say again, thank you for